What is up, guys? I'm back for another video, and today we're going to be going over some more Roblox Dragon Ball Z Final Stand Remastered leaks slash information. Like and subscribe if you want to see some more Dragon Ball Z Final Stand content, especially if you want to get the newest leaks and sneak peeks, information, and news over the remaster for Final Stand. But let's get right into it, guys. Okay, so the first question we have is, will you add manga exclusive forms like Ultra Ego whenever level cap reaches there? And he said yes. We've already knew this for a while now, that Ultra Ego, Gohan Beast or Beast form, Black Frieza, we already knew those was coming. We knew that from, you know, a while ago, the last time that we asked questions over the remaster. But yes, we do have like manga exclusive forms. We do have, you know, new transformations that we unlocked or we have been shown in movies and series after Dragon Ball Super. But we're going to go ahead and move on to the second one. And the second one right here, I personally like this. I'm glad that someone asked this, but it is, I know this game is, I know this is another, is this form going to be in the game question, but will we be getting Metal Cooler or 100% Frieza as prestige slash normal forms? And then he said 100% Frieza will probably exist. Metal Cooler might be prestige or the equivalent of it, and I'm not sure what its mechanics would be. Now, I've been wanting more cooler transformations for a very long time now. I do love the Frieza race. Unfortunately, they're not just that strong. They are kind of weird because of how low quality their transformations are. So it's either a hit or miss whether you like the Frieza race. But I personally like it. I would love to have a Metal Cooler. I'd love to have like a golden Metal Cooler and stuff like that, like the manga or just like promotional non-canon transformations. You know, I hope he adds stuff to like that. Me personally, if I was him, I'd be adding stuff like this because, you know, Cooler's definitely like one of my top 10 favorite Dragon Ball Z characters or Dragon Ball characters in general. But we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next one. Alright, so the next one is going to be, do stats and levels transfer? Please tell me they don't. Also, I just want to know this is going to be the biggest game out this summer. Came from playing this when I was in middle school, now I'm in college. I mean, yeah, it's been like out for so long, and then the community's been just sticking around for such a long time. I actually don't remember when I first started. I think it was like maybe 2015, 2016, around there. And then I stopped, I guess, like mid to late last year is when I just stopped. I just given up. There's not a lot to do now that you just repeat the game over and over. What he said, they do, but transfer slots are locked into the level cap reaches those slots. Level cap will increase every major update, as in Namek, Space, etc. So you will keep your slots, guys. You will keep your stats and whatnot, but you will not be able to use it. So let's say your Android slot is a level 1000. You will not be able to use that for probably a very long time until, you know, the level cap reaches a level 1000. You know, same thing if you're level 500, you won't be able to use it on release, but once we reach the level 500 level cap, that's when you'll be able to unlock it. So, you know, we have a lot of people asking the same exact question, and they just don't look at the comments and stuff. They don't look at the last time we've asked questions for Snake World, and, you know, we just keep getting the same question over and over. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. So the next one is, can you add Easter eggs like a secret shopper that spawns randomly in the map or gives OP moves, but make them expensive or hard? Make them expensive or hard to obtain. Imagine a domain expansion in a Dragon Ball game. Fire idea. No promises on if there will be on release, but definitely would want to add. And honestly, that's a very good question. I would love to have like Easter eggs where, you know, it's like a random NPC that spawns, or it's like, you know, you have to go through like a little secret area under the map or something like that to unlock or to buy yourself like new moves or new accessories. I remember when they did the Christmas update where you would get free ×2 XP. There would just be random items laying around, I believe only on Earth. And so I think my favorite one was like a Santa Claus hat, I believe it was. And then the other one that I liked the most was, there was like this so when you use a blue jar or blue bean, you get like this little blue sparkle effect around your character. And so basically that was an accessory. And so unfortunately I lost that on my main account because I prestiged that account, or prestiged that slot I got it on. And at that time, you want to keep any of your stuff besides stats and your Zinni. I mean, not just Zinni, besides your stats and your Sensu Beans. So I was dumb enough to, you know, restart it and not keep it. But I would love to see some Easter eggs come back to the game. Okay, so moving on to the next one. It says, will Saiyans have better stats in the remaster, or like rebalance them to keep them as good as other races, since Jirens are just the same but have better stats. Saiyan's stat system stays the same. Jirens have to be nerfed. And this is so unfortunate because I actually just started a Jiren, since Jirens are still pretty good, even though they got a pretty bad nerf, reducing their despair, which is their prestige 3, level like 500, 600, I don't even know what level it is. It's basically equivalent to Super Saiyan 4, but it got nerfed by 50 stats. So another transformation is 50 stats weaker than the Saiyan transformations, and they also lost, like, I believe it was like 100 to 150 stats inside of their key resistant. So now they're just like really weak to key moves that are just, you know, super strong already. So Jiren's just, you know, are super weak to key moves now. But if you can work around that, Jirens are like first or second best race in the game. And that's why I recently created one. But now that Jiren's getting nerfed, depending on how bad they get nerfed, they could either just be like, you know, okay, well, it's not really a point of playing, you know, Jiren race, it might just be a Saiyan. Or it's going to be like, there's no point of playing it at all. And I hope it doesn't become like that because, you know, I love Jiren. Jiren's like my top 3 characters that I favorite the most in the Dragon Ball series, just in general. But hopefully Jiren race will become irrelevant now because, you know, they were very hyped up when they first came out, and I was always a fan the day it came out. So hopefully it'll become useless now. Well, let's go ahead and move on. All right, so the next question is, so this one actually has 2 questions. The first one is, will game passes be maintained? And the second question is, will there be translations into other languages such as Portuguese? Currently, there are only translations into English and Spanish. And then Snake replied with, yes, game passes will be maintained. So if you're trying to buy a game pass, you know, and you're scared that once you buy it, you won't be able to have it when the remaster comes out, you do not have to worry. You will keep your game passes. Now, he did mention that they might become a little cheaper during the remaster, and they might change a little bit, but it's nothing to be dramatic. You know, if you buy Time Chamber, he's not going to make it so it's like 45 minutes down to like 20. He's not going to do that because it just messes the people that spent like $10 on like Game Pass, since a Game Pass is pretty expensive. But, you know, if you want to buy the Game Pass, you're still, you know, free to do so. Don't be scared that, you know, you won't be able to keep it during the remaster. That data is going to transfer to the remaster. So if you buy Trunks' sword, you buy the Nimbus, you're going to be able to use a Trunks sword, and you're going to be able to use that Nimbus, you know, in the remaster. So don't worry. And then, you know, if you don't speak English or Spanish, you know, you're going to be able to play Final Sin, I guess, and understand the game. Even though I feel like if you don't speak English or Spanish, you're probably not watching this video, but you never know. Let's just go ahead and move on. Okay, moving on. This one is asking, will you add more raid options? Like, for example, Tournament of Power, Universe 7 versus Universe 6, Otherworld Tournament, and Broly DBS and DBZ. Basically big events slash bosses that happen in Dragon Ball to give players a feel immersion as they are the Z fighters. And he said, yeah, which, you know, that was a given. I already assumed that they would add more bosses and more raids and such because they didn't. Snake didn't add more bosses and raids to Final Stand Remaster. Then what's the point of even making the remaster, right? Because raids is like the only thing you can do to level up like game, and it's also one of the funnest things to do, period. So, you know, for anybody that didn't think that raids were coming to the game, there you go, we're getting some more. Okay, so the next one is, work continues on the remastering. You are involved in the update more or less. By what percentage of work do they go? I have no idea what that means. I don't know if he's asking like what percentage are you guys so far like in the game. I just have no idea what the heck this means, but he says 40%. So I don't know if this guy's asking whether, like, cause Snake World hired a developer team. Whoops. He hired some people. I think it's like 3 different devs, and they're all working on Final Stand. And I'm wondering if maybe he's asking how much work they've done so far, like how much work they, between Snake and those developers. So I have no idea what this means, but something's 40%, guys. Well, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Which was this one? Is the console PvP going to be the same, or is it as it was back then? To this day, I still think Final Stand had the best controls for console and Roblox. Will game passes transfer over, or are they completely different? And this guy also put, please don't, that was a bad word, so please don't mess up the Majin race like last time, please. Snake replied with, the control scheme would be about the same, I'm sure. However, lock-on would be less strong, and there would be some moments / moves that require you to adjust the camera with the stick. So, fortunately, console players, anybody that plays on console or anybody that uses controller, which is probably most of PvPers, because you just get a massive advantage because of the lock-on. I myself use controller, even though I use my PC. But you're gonna get a nerf. I don't know like how much of a nerf it is. I don't know if it's gonna be like, oh yeah, when you're locked on, the camera, follows the person you're locked on to, or the NPC you're locked on to, slower. So let's say, whoever you're locked on to teleports behind you, the lock-on's gonna slowly turn around, facing that person. I don't know how it would work like that, which would mean that you're better off just, doing it manually. But then also he's saying there's moments / moves. So my guess is there's gonna be certain moves where you have to manually adjust this camera in order to aim or something like that. So console players, you're kind of out of luck if you're relying on that lock-on so heavily. But honestly, if you're relying on lock-on that bad, then you probably shouldn't be PvP'd. But it is what it is. And then of course he referred, reminded us all that game passes will transfer. And then Majins are getting a buff, guys. Holy crap. Now, this is pretty big news for those who actually use the Majin race. I personally always wanted to try to use the Majin race, but I could never follow through because they're just so freaking weak until like their very last prestige form, which is still pretty bad because the key max is the worst in the game. So unless you use like a blue Sitsubin or a blue jar, your keys are just going to go out so fast. And then they also got nerfed too, so they became even more useless. Before they had teleporting punches, and then now I guess it's just not as good, or they were like dodge. They basically had the UI effect, and then something got nerfed or removed from the UI effect from Majins, so they just had like a weaker, less effective Ultra Instinct. But they're getting buffed, guys, so hopefully it's going to be like their key max or something, or they're going to get more stats or something like that. So just if you're a Majin, hypes to you, props to you, you went through all that suffering and now it's actually paying off. Let's go ahead and move on. Okay, so this guy actually asked 5 questions. So the first one is, how far in the story of Dragon Ball is it going to go, as in which saga? He replies with, the release goes up to end of Buu saga, but some forms might go beyond that. And then the second question is, what races should we expect? And then he replied with, all that are in the original plus alien race. If you don't know about the alien race, he is adding alien race. We don't know much about it yet. Besides that, I guess it's going to get Kaioken, which we're going to get into that in a little bit once we get to that screenshot. Well, then the third question is race content going to be balanced, forms, customization, etc.? He replied with, races will be as balanced as they can be, but perfectly balanced is always impossible, which is true. And then the fourth question is, what game passes should we expect? And then he responded with, game passes are always a last minute addition. I don't like to focus on that. And then the fifth question is, anything you could tell us about combat? And he said it's fire. Now we're going to get into that soon, but it looks like Snake World is the the most proud about how combat is going to be here on the remaster, which is the main part of the game. So honestly, that's good. All right, this question is, will players that reach a certain milestone like rebirth on the old game receive a small reward in the remaster, such as like a permanent 20% XP boost or a cool cosmetic bound to the character? Snake replied with probably not an XP boost or anything that affects gameplay directly, possibly a cosmetic or something like that, yes. That's pretty cool. It just shows that, you actually played the game and how far you got in the original Final Stand when we eventually get to the remaster. So, we could be having that little YouTuber little head effect. I don't know if you guys seen it or not, but like when Ultra Hands and is like, years ago when he make videos, he'd have something pop around his head. It was like a little circle just going around his head. If you guys know, you know, but it could be something like that, something that just pops up, a little effect. Probably nothing crazy or anything, or it might just get an accessory that works too, but just something to flex off, that you're an OG. But we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next one, which is, this one has 3 questions. First one is, will we get new moves, new forms, will we get new forms like Beast, Black Frieza, and Piccolo's orange form? Like I said, new forms for sure, probably only a couple at release, for those are late game forms, but all 3 of those will exist eventually. So there you guys go. If you guys had doubts that, Beast form, Black Frieza, and then orange form, Piccolo, was going to come in the game, there you guys go. Good news. I love it. Love each of those forms. They're all cool in their own ways. So that's honestly, good news for me. Next one is the PvP style. The PvP style in this game are pretty niche and stands out compared to every other Dragon Ball game in and outside of Roblox. Was the fast-paced PvP kept? And then he replied with, PvP is fast-paced, yes. So it hasn't been slowed down or anything, but hey, you guys are going to just have to let me know in the comments whether you like fast or slow-based PvP. I'm probably more fast-paced, but now let's just go ahead and move on to the third question, which is release before summer, guys. Uh-oh. We're going to get this before summer? Let's see. He said no, not released before summer, so pretty unfortunate. There's our answer right there. He's saying that we're not going to get it released before summer, so that's most likely, fall. So that kind of sucks, honestly, knowing that, it could be out soon, and now he's admitting that it's not going to be out in summer. Because I say we're entering like spring right now, depending where you're at. If you're in the United States, I think we're entering like spring. Looks like, all the snow and stuff is starting to go away. For anybody that's got hit with snow recently for whatever reason, where I'm at, we just got hit with waves of snow for no apparent reason, even though it's February. Actually, it's February. Like, why do we still got snow? Anyways, let's go ahead and move on. All right, moving on. This one says, will there be a prestige system? Is the idea for it fleshed out? How big is the map compared to the OG? What will be the max level? Will there be only Earth Dynamic on release, or will there be more? And he said, no prestige yet. Map is a recreation of the original, but more stuff in it, and a few extra areas probably. So basically, it sounds like it's just like it's like an upgraded, better graphics. So kind of sounds like it's like a copy paste of the map, which I guess kind of is fine to me, because you won't have to completely go around the map and look and stuff, because it'd be completely updated and everything's not in the same location. Like, sometimes that can be annoying depending on the type of person you are. But so it looks like it's just gonna be kind of like a copy paste, and then there's just gonna be some extra areas around the map that we just haven't gotten, or maybe updated, like Cell area. There was like just Cell's arena just randomly placed on the map, but there was no NPC there, so I'm not sure what happened about that. But maybe that's gonna be something like that later in the update. Probably gonna actually be a purpose to that. I also said that max level at release is 150, but will increase with updates. Earth for sure. Namek the following update. So it looks like the max level once remaster comes out is gonna be level 150, which unless he changes what level you have to be for transformations, that's equivalent to Super Saiyan 3. So that's pretty cool. But honestly, he could change the requirements because we're gonna get to that point here soon. To make it just like realistic to the anime as possible, because of course, you know, Goku did not unlock Super Saiyan 3 at Namek. He unlocked it during the Buu saga. So it really could just go different ways. But looks like we're just gonna get Earth on the remaster, and then the first update that we're gonna receive is gonna be Namek, of course, which just makes sense. There's information, so if anybody wants to know what's gonna be like as soon as you get remaster, we're gonna have a revamped version of Earth, and then the following update is gonna, you know, contain Namek and then some more transformations, I guess. All right, so this question is there any type of reference to the original game in the remaster? An example, maybe some assets, animations that made into the remaster. As much as I love Final Stand remaster idea, I'd love to see at least some Easter eggs of the old version of the game. And Snake will reply with, I'm sure there'll be a few assets that make their way over. Most animations are remade. So this is pretty good, guys, because animations in the game are like, they're okay. They could have been updated and such. Very like old quality, in my opinion, like outdated quality. Could be a lot better compared to other games like Dragon Ball Nexus and stuff. They definitely had the upper hand on Final Stand when it came to animations, but you know, hopefully we're gonna get some nice animations here on the remaster. But he also said the update is a recreation, so things will be in the same relative positions. So it kind of sounds like the map is just going to get a complete rework. So some areas might be moved just a little bit, but you could expect, like, you know, Capsule Corp to be around the same area that Capsule Corp is currently at, and might be a little, you know, east, west, north, south. We don't know, but, you know, we could slightly see some changes of where locations are at, but nothing dramatic from the sounds of it. All right, next question is actually from Ultra Hands, which is a very popular Dragon Ball Z Final Stand YouTuber. He's probably like the most popular on YouTube. But he asked, will YouTubers like me get early access at some point? And Snake Road replied, you are certainly on the list of beta testers when we get to that point. So it looks like, you know, there's going to be certain YouTubers that I assume are just really popular when it comes to Dragon Ball Z Final Stand, or personally just people that are close to Snake World. I doubt I'm going to be on that list. I am definitely not on par with Ultra Hands. Yeah, you know, maybe I can try to get there, but fortunately I don't think it'll be a beta tester. It'd be pretty cool though. Beta testers will be a thing at some point down the line. But let's go ahead and move on to the next question. This question asks, will there be special cosmetics or rewards for being present for the original as a sign of I was here before the remaster? And he replied with probably some cosmetic, yes. So again, you might get some cosmetics if you played OG Dragon Ball Z Final Stand. So I assume that's the majority of the people that watch this video. Moving on, this question is, do you have any idea when the game will come out, or will there be a paid or open beta? Snake World replied with, there will be a couple of open tests coming. I might do a paid beta, but I'm unsure about it. That'd be pretty cool. If I don't get like the YouTuber treatment, where, you know, I could just test the game before it's actually released for free, then I probably would do the paid beta, if he does make that a thing. Alright, so this video is already long enough, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it right here. I'm going to go ahead and make a part 2 of this video. I got some more information for you guys. You want it, of course. Obviously, if you guys don't want the information, leaks, news, and sneak peeks, I will not give it to you guys. But comment down below, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you want some more sneak peeks, news, and stuff about the remaster. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.